It's been a while, John. Wait, is that you, Chris? What are you doing here? What? Did you actually get invited? Unbelievable. My teen really dropped the ball. What do you mean? At my level, I don't even bother with writing out my own wedding invitations. I had my staff handle all of it. But I can't believe they sent one to you too. Well, since you're already here, I guess there's nothing I can do about it. John said this with a smirk on his face. Looking back, even when we were in the same class, he always looked down on me. It seems that even now, as adults, his fundamental personality hasn't changed. Anyway, whatever. So, are you going to stay and participate? Well, I came here to congratulate you on your wedding, so yeah. Just make sure you don't embarrass me in front of my wife, alright? She's a famous idol, after all. Plus, I graduated from Harvard and some of my friends are here too, so don't make me look bad. I was stunned into silence by his words. He was certainly smart, but Harvard University is one of the top universities in the world. Harvard University. That's really impressive. Of course it is. I'm just on a different level than someone like you. Despite his impressive background, I couldn't help but wonder why his personality was so terrible. But this was his wedding day. Causing a scene here would just be rude. With that in mind, I headed towards the guests' tables. Hey everyone, long time no see. Oh, you made it too. Man, John marrying an idol. That's something to be jealous of. Yeah. He mentioned something like that. I wonder who the idol is. Wait, seriously? You don't know? You must not be watching TV these days. You're so out of touch. Everyone around me laughed when I said that. Was it really that strange? She must be pretty famous. Well, John is a genius who graduated from Harvard, after all. As I was saying this, it was time for the bride and groom to make their entrance. I wondered who this famous idol could be. I watched the two of them with curiosity. And the moment I saw the bride's face, I felt a chill run down my spine. Thank you all for gathering here today. During the bride and groom's greeting, she looked directly at me. Our eyes locked, and my heart started racing. I know there's usually a certain order to these things, but since this is my wedding, I hope you'll forgive me for a slight breach of etiquette. There's someone I want to thank first. Mr. Chris Tanner, sitting at the back. With a smile, the bride pointed straight at me as she said this. My name is Chris Tanner. I'm currently the CEO of a company that sells health supplements. So, how's the progress on the new product? Well, we've got the concept down, but we're struggling to come to a consensus. There's a disagreement over who our main target audience should be. I see. Well, that's one of the most critical aspects when it comes to developing a sales strategy. I'm counting on you to handle this new product launch, so make sure you do your best. Yes, sir. After graduating from high school, I worked various part-time jobs. It wasn't until I realized I was headed nowhere that I decided to start my own business. My first venture failed miserably, and so did the next. I scraped together whatever funds I could from anyone I knew and launched what I considered my last chance, a company that sells health supplements. The early days were full of challenges, but I managed to overcome them one by one, and eventually, the business started to take off. Now, I'm doing quite well financially, but I believe it's all a result of my hard work. The reason I made it this far is because I hit rock bottom once in my life. That was back in high school. I was raised by a single mother, and during high school, I juggled multiple part-time jobs, desperately trying to support our household. Hey, Chris. You're off to work again? Yeah. I can't afford to take a break. My mom hurt her back and can't work right now, so I have to step up. Man, it must suck being poor. If you were born into a rich family like mine, you'd be set for life. Yeah, you could look at it that way, but I don't think our life is hard. My mom and I get by just fine, and we enjoy our time together. Sounds like sour grapes to me. All I hear is the whining of a loser. This was John, a classmate from high school. From the moment he enrolled, it was clear he was exceptionally smart, almost too smart for a public school. On top of that, his parents owned a construction company, so he was financially well off. He was the kind of person everyone envied. However, having so much made him prone to looking down on others. It's not sour grapes, really, but wealth isn't the only measure of happiness, is it? You're smart, so you should know that much. So tell me, what do you have that I don't? Nothing, right? Sure, wealth isn't just about money. That's true. But overall, your life is pretty much that of a peasant, isn't it? I was really taken aback by John's comment. Indeed, John was someone everyone envied. He was above average in looks, highly intelligent, and wealthy. But that doesn't give him the right to look down on others. How could someone so intelligent lack basic human decency? Maybe you're just not capable of understanding other people. What are you talking about? The only thing you have that I don't is part-time job experience, and I don't need that. And with that, John walked off. I was stunned by just how little he thought of me. John had only recently learned that I was raised by a single mother. Before that, he hadn't been this condescending, so it was quite a shock. But dwelling on it wouldn't do me any good. I decided to focus on what I needed to do. Time flew by, and one day during my senior year. Are you okay, Mom? I got a call saying you collapsed suddenly. I'm sorry to worry you. The truth is, I have a chronic illness that's been getting worse. A chronic illness. Yes. I had been managing it well for a while, but it seems it's been progressing without me realizing it. While I was at work, I received a call from the hospital saying that my mom had collapsed and was rushed to the emergency room. I immediately went to see her. She had regained consciousness, but her illness had advanced significantly, and the doctors said she would need to be hospitalized. How long have you known about this illness? A while. But I didn't think it would get this bad. I'm sorry for the trouble, but can you take care of things at home for a while? Don't worry, I'll handle everything at home. But why didn't you tell me sooner? You've been pushing yourself too hard, haven't you? I didn't want to burden you. I guess I did push myself a bit too much. But now I've ended up being a burden anyway, so it's all for nothing. Seeing my mom say this with a smile brought tears to my eyes. If only I had noticed her condition sooner, things wouldn't have gotten this bad. I knew that blaming myself wouldn't change anything, but I couldn't just pretend like nothing had happened. I'm sorry. I should have noticed how sick you were, Mom. There's nothing for you to apologize for. Don't worry about it. Just focus on your treatment, so you can get better and come home soon. Since I had left work to come to the hospital, I said that and headed back to my job. But when I returned, I couldn't concentrate at all and kept making mistakes. Aiden, my manager, understood what I was going through and didn't blame me, but I felt more and more mentally overwhelmed. Aiden. I was thinking of taking on more shifts. Would that be all right? More shifts? Well, we're short-staffed, so I'd appreciate the help. But are you sure you can handle it, with everything going on with your mom? I'll be fine. I need to make up for the income my mom isn't able to earn. Alright then, just submit your new schedule when you're ready. And take this home with you. Really? Thank you so much. You've been working hard every day, but don't push yourself too much, okay? If you get sick too, it defeats the purpose. Just do what you can without overdoing it. Yes, sir. Aiden's kindness gave me the strength to keep going. After graduating from high school, I decided not to go to college and instead planned to work full-time at the place where I had been doing part-time jobs. Aiden was more than happy to have me on board as a full-time employee, and I was looking forward to working hard. But just a week after graduation, her condition has suddenly worsened. She may only have a month left. I didn't expect it to happen so quickly. I'm truly sorry. What? That can't be. She was just talking to me not long ago, looking fine. This isn't possible. I'm very sorry, but please spend the remaining time with her as meaningfully as you can. Dr. Turner had just given me my mom's terminal diagnosis, and I couldn't accept it. But as the days passed, her condition rapidly deteriorated, and soon she could barely speak. Dr. Turner explained that she had been holding on through sheer willpower, but now that will had finally run out. Time passed quickly after that, and before I knew it, my mom was gone. I talked to Aiden and decided to quit my job to spend the remaining time with her. After she passed, I was overwhelmed with a deep sense of emptiness. No matter what I did, I couldn't find the motivation to move forward. It felt like I was left alone in complete darkness. Having not gone to college, my social connections had become thin. My high school friends were all starting new lives at college. With no one around to rely on, I found myself lost. I eventually returned to work, but the sense of emptiness led to frequent mistakes, and I spiraled into self-loathing. Chris, are you okay? I'm sorry. I keep messing up at work. I know you've got to support yourself, but don't push too hard. Take care of yourself first. Thank you. I'll try. Even though Aiden was understanding and supportive, I couldn't seem to recover mentally. I only worked enough to get by, spending the rest of my time at home, doing nothing. I tried playing video games, but I couldn't get into them. Movies didn't hold my attention either. I thought about going out for drinks with friends, but my lack of motivation always won out. I kept telling myself that if I continued like this, I'd waste some of the most important years of my life. But I just couldn't seem to break free from the darkness. Then, one day. Thank you very much. I had some business at the city hall and was on my way home, passing through the station area. That's when I came across someone doing a street performance. They had just finished a song and were getting ready for the next one. I had nothing waiting for me at home, so I decided to stay and listen to one song. Please listen to my next song, Living for Tomorrow. Her singing wasn't exactly outstanding. She was slightly better than an average person, but I doubted she would ever make it big as a singer. Still, she had a small but dedicated group of fans who came to listen to her street performances. She must have been working hard for quite some time. I stayed and listened to one song, then another. Before I knew it, I had listened to several songs, and the street performance for the day had come to an end. Thank you for staying until the end. I enjoyed it. You have a beautiful voice. Thank you. Have you been performing here for a long time? It's been about a year now. She had been persisting with this for a whole year. That's really impressive. and I couldn't help but respect her dedication. That's amazing. It's not something you can do with a half-hearted attitude. Is becoming a singer your dream? There were times when I wanted to give up, but I can't let go of my dream because my mom was always my biggest fan. I want to honor her memory. I see. I'm sure your mom is very proud of you. Yes, actually, she passed away due to an illness. But I believe she's watching over me from heaven. That's why I want to become the singer I couldn't show her while she was alive, and tell her all about it. I was deeply moved by her strength. By coincidence, she had experienced a similar loss to mine, but she had a stronger will and was taking action. Of course, it's not right to compare myself to others, but I realized that I hadn't been able to act with the same strength of heart that she had. I hadn't even come to terms with the reality in front of me. The pain of losing a parent is something only those who have gone through it can understand. That's why I was so impressed by her resilience. How did you get through that kind of pain? I haven't really overcome it. But if my mom saw me sad, she wouldn't be able to rest in peace. I want her to be smiling in heaven. So, I guess it's just my own ego. She said this with a smile. Deep down, she was still struggling, but she had a strong will to keep going. Seeing her made me realize that I couldn't just stay stuck in place. I'll come again. I'll be cheering for you. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you. Keep up the good work. From that day on, I went to watch her street performances every day. I didn't do anything special, but just seeing her work hard motivated me to push myself as well. Around 6 months after my mother passed away, I began to take small steps to change my situation. While working at a convenience store, I began to entertain the idea of starting my own business. 5 years flew by in the blink of an eye, and during that time, I tried various business ventures. But they all ended in failure, and I was left with almost nothing. I borrowed money from acquaintances and even resorted to consumer loans. With the little money I could scrape together, I started one last business, a company selling health supplements. Over the years, I have learned a lot about marketing and the keys to success in business through trial and error. I was determined to make this last chance a success. With that resolve, I poured everything into running my company. In the beginning, the business didn't take off right away, but after countless tries and adjustments, it finally started to gain momentum. Now, I'm not a millionaire, but I've managed to earn enough to live a comfortable life. It's been a while, Aiden. Long time no see. How have you been? Recently, I've been running a company, and I'm enjoying life for the most part. But of course, there's still a lot of work ahead. After my company started to do well, I reconnected with Aiden, who had been my manager at the part-time job. Aiden was one of the people who supported me when I was trying to start a new chapter in my life. At the same time, there was someone else I wanted to thank. I'm actually trying to find a street performer. Do you happen to know anything about the person who used to sing in front of the station? I think I might have seen her before, but I'm not sure. Aiden, I know you're busy, so it's okay if you don't know. I understood that Aiden had his own responsibilities, so I wasn't really expecting much. But still, I felt a strong desire to find the woman who used to do those street performances and express my gratitude to her. It was because of her that I had been able to push myself this far. Seeing her perseverance had inspired me to keep going as well. However, she no longer performed on the streets. Did that mean she had become a professional singer? I couldn't be sure, but I believed that wherever she was continuing to pursue her dreams. I decided that I would continue striving in my own life as well. Then one day, I received a wedding invitation. It was from an old classmate, John. He was always smart, and I wondered if he was running a company like I was. Either way, since he took the trouble to invite me, I decided to attend. It's been a while, John. Wait, is that you, Chris? What are you doing here? What? Did you actually get an invitation? Wow, my team really messed up. What do you mean? At my level, I don't even bother with writing my own wedding invitations. I had my staff handle it all. But I can't believe they sent one to you too. Well, since you're here, I guess it's too late to do anything about it. John said this with a smug grin. Looking back, I realized he'd always looked down on me, even when we were in the same class. It seemed that even now, as adults, his basic personality hadn't changed. Whatever. So, are you planning on staying for the whole thing? Well, I came to celebrate your wedding, so yeah. Just make sure you don't embarrass me in front of my wife, alright? She's a famous idol, after all. And I've got some friends from Harvard too. So don't make me look bad. I was stunned into silence by his words. He had always been smart, but Harvard was one of the top universities in the world. At the time, I never imagined he'd become someone recognized on a global scale. Harvard University. That's really impressive. Yeah, well, people like you and I are just on different levels. Despite his impressive achievements, I couldn't help but wonder why his personality was so unpleasant. But this was his wedding day. It would be inappropriate for me to cause any trouble here. With that thought, I made my way to the guest tables. Hey everyone, long time no see. Oh, you're here too. Man, John marrying an idol, that's something to be jealous of. Yeah, he did mention something like that. I wonder who the idol is. What? You don't know? You haven't been watching TV lately, have you? You're so out of touch. When I said that, everyone around me started laughing. Was it really such an unusual thing? I wasn't very familiar with idols, and I'd been so focused on running my company that I barely watched TV or spent time online. Since my health supplement business primarily targeted the elderly, I hadn't focused much on social media marketing, which might have contributed to my lack of knowledge. She must be really famous. Well, John is a Harvard graduate, so I guess it makes sense. As I was saying this, the bride and groom entered the room. I wondered who this famous idol could be. I watched them with curiosity. And the moment I saw the bride's face, I felt a chill run down my spine. I was completely speechless. Thank you all so much for being here today. The bride began, her eyes locking directly onto mine as she spoke. Our eyes met, and I felt my heart begin to race. Normally, there's a set order to follow, but since this is my wedding, I hope you'll forgive a slight breach of etiquette. There's someone I want to thank first. Mr. Chris Tanner, sitting at the back. The bride smiled warmly and pointed at me. It was her, the street performer I had been searching for all this time. I never imagined that she had gone on to become an idol after leaving behind her street performances. Could you please come up here? She said this to me. I wasn't sure what to do, but with encouraging gestures from the people around me, I made my way up to the stage. Even John, the groom, seemed clueless about what was happening, just like everyone else. It's been a long time. Do you remember me, Chris? Of course I do. It's really been a long time. I'm shocked to see you here. I felt a bit embarrassed, not only because it had been so long since we last met, but also because of all the eyes on us. Before we start the ceremony, I'd like to share a little about myself. It's no exaggeration to say that I'm here today as an idol and now marrying John because of Chris. He was the one who pulled me out of the darkest time in my life. Tears welled up in her eyes as she spoke. John was visibly taken aback by her words. Could it be that he knew what she had gone through? But I was utterly confused. She had saved me, but I couldn't recall doing anything significant for her. Why was she saying this? As many of you might know, I started my career by doing street performances. I worked hard for years, but I wasn't successful either as a singer or as a person with any real presence. I was ready to give up when I met Chris. What? I was putting on a brave face, pretending to be confident, but I had just lost my beloved mother and was at my breaking point. But Chris, he kept coming to my performances and encouraging me. He always said, "I'll be back to see you again." You can't imagine how much those words meant to me. They gave me the strength to keep going, knowing someone was waiting to hear me sing. She continued, her voice cracking with emotion as tears streamed down her face. Back then, I was too caught up in my own problems to notice what she was going through, even though I was the one who had been helped. Somehow, without realizing it, I had become a source of motivation for her. Is that really true? Yes. At that time, I felt like I had no future as a singer, no mother, and no reason to keep going. I was trapped in a dark place with no way out, and it was unbearable. But you were the one who saved me. I've heard a lot about those days from Sophia, though I never imagined that the person she talked about was you, Chris. I guess I owe you a thank you as well. Maybe it's because of you that we're able to celebrate this day. So, really, thank you. I never expected to hear such words from John. I always thought he would look down on me no matter what. I never imagined that knowing the truth would change his attitude so much. His pride made me think he'd never alter his stance towards someone he deemed beneath him. But you helped me too. When I was at my lowest, seeing you work so hard gave me the strength to keep going. Is that so? I didn't know your real name because you were using your stage name, and I thought I'd never get a chance to thank you properly. But I'm so glad we could meet again here. As I said this, the room erupted in applause. We shook hands, and I returned to my seat. It was a touching reunion, but I reminded myself that the day belonged to the bride and groom. I was here to celebrate them. Still, I was deeply moved by our reunion. And it wasn't just me. She had managed to change her life because of me too. Whether it was just a polite sentiment or not, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. The wedding proceeded smoothly after that, and later, John called me over. You're probably as surprised as I was, but what Sophia said is true. She was really struggling back then, and I'm grateful you were there for her. I used to look down on you for a lot of things, but I've got to admit, I've reconsidered. It's nothing, really. I was just doing what I could. I was struggling back then too, and seeing her push through helped me a lot. Sophia, she's an incredible person. You know, after graduating from Harvard, I failed to get the job I really wanted. It shook my confidence a lot. Sure, I ended up with a good job at a major company here in Japan, but the pressure from everyone's expectations was overwhelming. Yeah. I guess everyone has their own struggles, no matter who they are. It was Sophia who reached out and helped me during that time. I didn't marry her because she's an idol, but because I was drawn to who she is as a person. I felt instinctively that with her by my side, I could overcome any obstacle. So, when I heard that you were the one who helped her, I was really surprised. I never imagined the connection between us would come full circle like this. John often flaunted his intelligence, education, and family background. But maybe that was just his way of protecting himself from the pressure he felt from those around him. It's true that his attitude often made others uncomfortable. But it was clear that he had his own struggles that only he could understand. Sophia had saved me. And without realizing it, I had somehow saved her too. And now, this had all come back around to help someone I once resented. Life is full of surprises, and the connections between people endure in unexpected ways. I was genuinely happy to see these two find happiness together and felt a deep sense of joy in celebrating their union. Once again, congratulations on your wedding. I'm sure you two will be very happy together. Thanks. By the way, what kind of work are you doing these days? Not that I mean to pry, but if you're having a tough time, I could always put in a word with my dad's company. No, actually, I started my own business after everything that happened. I realized I couldn't keep going the way I was. My mom's watching over me from heaven, and I didn't want her to worry. So, I scraped by and put everything into it. And now I run a company that sells health supplements. That's amazing. I had no idea you were working so hard. We both have our challenges ahead, but let's keep pushing forward. I'm rooting for you. Thanks. John then moved on to greet the other guests. I thought he hadn't changed since high school, but maybe that was only on the surface. Perhaps, deep down, he had always been a decent guy. As I thought about this, I imagined the two of them living a happy life together, and a small smile crept onto my face. Just then, Chris. Oh, Sophia. Congratulations again on your wedding. Thank you. I was so happy to see you again here. I've been wanting to express my gratitude. Anne. I'm sorry about what John said earlier. Oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It seems she was aware of our earlier conversation, likely from John himself. But I wasn't bothered by it anymore, especially after learning about his true feelings. John may say some harsh things, but deep down, he's a good person. He's generous with his time and money when it comes to helping others. That's why I decided to marry him. And because of his status, a lot of people approach him for the wrong reasons, such as money, connections, or just to use him as a stepping stone. So, please stay close as a true friend he can trust. Of course. I look forward to keeping in touch. I gave a small bow and then left the wedding venue. After that, life returned to normal. I was busy with work every day, but lately, I've been feeling a bit more fulfilled. I've made some new friends, a couple who invite me to outdoor activities like barbecues and camping on the weekends. You never know what life will throw at you. There are times when you'll be plunged into the depths of despair, and other times when you'll feel on top of the world. But no matter what situation you find yourself in, it's important to remember that life has a way of working itself out. No matter how much pain you endure, or how harsh the reality you face, things won't stay the same forever. If you keep fighting and pushing through, you'll eventually find a way out. And another thing that's crucial is the connections between people. I plan to continue valuing those connections, and my own life, as I move forward.